What's up, party people of the MOB, members only baseball, the mob? What's going on? What's happening? What's cracking? See a bunch of you in the chat. I will be with you momentarily. Let me just welcome you to the, I don't know what we're calling this, the Archetype Reveal show. How about that? That sounds like a good one. The Archetype Reveal show for season 1 here in members only baseball. I'm going to go through the 5 field player archetypes with you, and then show you what I'm doing for pitchers and catchers because they're not quite done. Pitchers is pretty much done. Catchers I need to wrap up still because I got a few things I need to do. That being said, let's see who's in here. Was Freddie the first one? And then Jeff Banfield, Yogi, Keith, Axis, Michaela, Gunny, Yogi. Did I say Gunny already? Gunny. Did I say Yogi? I said Yogi. Gunny, Michaela. Tommy Guns in the house. Rob Forker. Crazy Canuck. Gluda's in his house. Twin Screws out back there hiding along with Bullet Beletsky. Doug Britton. I said Jeff Banfield, Yogi, Michaela. I think that's about it. About 20. Not quite 20 of us. That's all right. We don't need more people to have a good time. And Clams is in the house subscribing. Atta girl, Clams. Jeff Banfield, douche dick archetype for me. I should have made a douche dick one, huh? Maybe I'll change the average Joe to douche dick. That would be hilarious, actually. All right. Let's jump into this. I'm checking my phone. Lisa's in Miami on her connecting airport, waiting to get on a plane here in about an hour to fly home to yours truly. So if you hear my phone go off, you know why. All right. 5 player archetypes, and then I'll talk to you about pitchers and catchers afterwards. So let's get this party started. First and foremost, right here, boom, the average Joe. Now, I'm going to pull up the list, too, that I put in the archetype channel the other day. But average Joe, Ray had this, Twin Screw had this, Holdorf had this, Doug Day, Nate, Biff, and Ray all had the average Joe. Now, if you see the average Joe, it's basically a Joe of all trades, a consistent player, a solid base, just average across. He's going to have 60s all the way across. His starting value would be about a 73. He'll start with 1,020 points. That'll give him 425. As you'll notice, everybody's going to be around 400 to progress over your first 10 out of your 15 seasons. You'll progress about 2/3 of that your first 5 seasons. The second third, your second 5, and then the last 5, you will slowly digress. But you know, this is an easy one. It's 60s all the way across, and the max is 85s all the way. Either way, you're still in 99, even with all those 85s. Joe's here too. Joe, what's up? Anybody else sneak in? Just you? So that is archetype number 1, and I will post all of these in the archetype builds channel after the show this evening. Actually, let me get these other ones going. Hold on. I'm going to pop these up so I can get them ready. And that's it. Any questions on average Joe real quick before I move on to the next one? This will be a pull hitter, so you will have to spend points to make a opposite field or whole field batter. He's going to start out at 5'10", 185, and the A99 is his potential. So he's gonna be an A, and his potential will be he can get to 99. Bullet, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you, man. Somebody else texted me today, said they were turning 50, and I was like, young buck, what's up? All right, so that's it. Any questions real quick in the chat before I move on to the next archetype? I don't see anybody. I don't see any questions. All right. I'm a little ahead of you. You guys are a little behind me probably, so I will catch up if you guys throw something out. The second archetype for position players is the Ricky Henderson archetype. He is a leadoff man. He'll have speed. He'll hit for contact. He'll be able to bunt, and he'll be able to steal. As you notice, he'll start out contact So you see how it's different, 65 or 70. Depends if he's right-handed or left-handed. I made this one for a right-hander. So right-hander will have better contact against a left-handed pitcher starting out. Not a lot of power to begin with, but if you go all the way to the right, you'll see 85 speed, 85 steal, 80 base aggressiveness. This is his thing, 75 bunt. That's where he's going to go. Because you're going to have to pay money. They're all going to start off around 5'9 to 5'10-ish, anywhere between 170 to 190 pounds, Crazy Canuck, because you're going to have to spend money, your earnings, your progression points, to make him taller, or if you want to make him shorter, you can cash in points and bank those and put them towards something else. So, but as you see, his potential is way up there when it comes to stealing speed, base running, aggressiveness, reaction time, all that stuff. He's going to be way up there. All right, Ricky Henderson. So first we had Average Joe. Now we have Ricky Henderson. Private Clams, depends on the day. Is it just for actual or medical? What are you talking about, Clams? Does owning a life alert bracelet count as another midlife? So listen, let me address this midlife crisis. I must have had a midlife crisis in the 20s. I had one in the 30s. I had two in my 40s. And now I have one in my 50s. Is that how it works, Clams? Every time I buy a nice car, it's a midlife crisis? Well, I know, but it's funny. It's just funny. I have one every week, says Bullet. All right, moving on to archetype number 3. I'm sorry. Let me go back. I forgot to mention, I told you guys who had the Average Joe in the beta season. The Ricky Henderson was only 4 people, 1 for each team. Actually, I guess one more than 1 for each team. I bought a Mazda MX-5, Jeff, about a month ago, maybe. I've had an IS300, I've had a 350Z, I've had an FRS, I've had a 200SX, blah 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 blah. I've had a C300. All right, Ricky Henderson build. Eagle had it, Calvin Klein had it, Bullet had it, and Tommy Gunn had it. The Ricky Henderson. Now moving on to Ozzie Smith. Ozzie Smith, Gold Glover, defense, arm. He will have some good contact and some bunt, but as you can see, he will not really hit for power unless you concentrate on getting that up. You can tell. Go to the right again. His reaction time, his arm strength, his arm accuracy, his durability, all that stuff you can maximize that way up. You know what? If you notice too, he'll start out 1100. He gets up to 1525, but his overall still, and this is the one, I don't understand this one, but this is the one archetype that I could not get everybody to get the same. The range is from 71 to 75. It's crazy. Even though I made everybody identical when I was testing it, I don't get it. If you do under notes, if you decide you want to be a switch hitter, if you spend the earnings to make this guy a switch hitter, then his contact will go to 60 and 60 instead of 55 and 65. Just like on Ricky Henderson, depending if you're right-handed or left-handed, 55, 65. Let me see if I put that note on Ricky as well. I did not. So what we'll probably do with Ricky is it'll probably be like 67 and 68, something like that, to make it even. He's a pull hitter just like Ricky and Average Joe. You'll have to spend money to do that. You have to spend money to get taller, and you have to spend money to get fatter. Don't we all spend money to get fatter anyway? Hey yo. What we got here? All right. So there's 3 down. Ozzie Smith. Axis had this in the beta season, so did Rob Forker, Michaela, Britton, Crazy Canuck, Wink, and Chris Lee. All had the Ozzie Smith archetype in the preseason. This next one is this is the new one. This is the one that took me a while to get going. This is the Tony Gwynn archetype. This is a contact hitter hitting for average and has a good plate presence. This is the only one of the 5 archetypes that I'm showing you tonight that we did not have in the beta season, so there's no list for these people. As you can tell, he's also a pull hitter. He's 5'9", 180 to start out with. His overall starts out at 70-71, 1,015 points, 1,435, so 420 points. As you can see, his contact's already at a 75, which is great in this game. And but his power's down. He's not going to be the fastest guy. He'll be okay defensively, but not phenomenal. But he's a contact hitter. That's what he does. He's a Tony Gwynn. He's singles and doubles, get you on base, move the runners around type of hitter. Nobody had that archetype, like I mentioned, so I don't need to list anybody for that. If you guys have any questions on any of these so far, make sure you throw it in there. And then the last field position archetype is the McBonza for McGuire, Bonds, and Sosa. This is a power hitter. That's it. It's a power hitter one. This is the one that did really well in the beta season. Freddie had it. Leathers had it. Delaney had it. Krieg had it. Chad, Benji, Frank, and Art all had it. And most of those names were some of the best hitters in the beta season. This one, you have to do extreme pull. They start with extreme pull, so you got to spend a little more money to get to pull and then get to either opposite field or whole field. They start out just a little bigger, 5'11", 190. They still have 99 potential, 428 points to progress to max out. But if you look, their contact is okay. Again, 65 or 55. They will, it depends if they're right-handed or left-handed. The most important thing on here, if you look up at the notes, power hitters cannot be switch hitters. There will be no power hitters that are switch hitters. So if you want to be a power hitter, you got to choose right or left. That's it. And then your contact, it'll be 65, 55 to start out with, depending on if you're right-handed or left-handed. But look at your power already. 75 and 80, depending on if you're right-handed or left-handed. It'll go 80, 75. That's already crushing the ball. However, your plate discipline, your plate vision, not so great. So once in a while, you're going to crush it, but most of the time, like most power hitters, you're going to struggle to I heard that about you, Clams. You're going to struggle to get on base unless it's a home run. You're not going to be bunting and all that stuff. You're not going to be stealing. You're not going to be fast, yada, yada, yada. Ricky, Ozzy, Tony, McBonza. Did I miss one? Average Joe? You missed Average Joe, Gunny. Was the first one? All right. Real quick, any questions? And I'll run through them real quick. I'm just going to show them real quick on here. Average Joe, Ricky Henderson, Ozzie Smith, Tony Gwynn, McBonza. Those are the 5. Okay. But Average Joe was first, Biff. Did you just get here, bro? All right. So now, let me talk to you about pitchers and catchers real quick. This is going to be, we're going to do these a little different. Let me start with pitchers. Pitchers are not going to have an archetype to start with, and they won't be progressing the same way as players. What they are going to do is I've set what their starting stamina, pitch, clutch, all that stuff's going to be. Now, that's what you see at the top. You see the 80 stamina, and you see all the 60s and 50s. That's going to put them at a 74 overall. They are going to be allowed to build their player up to a 75 before the season starts. And then what's going to happen is every 2 weeks, they're going to build their player to get 3 more overall value. So they're going to start at 75, and then after week 2, let me see if this is right. Hold on. I make sure I got the right things. Hold on. I'm sorry, no. Every 2 weeks you're going to go up 1. Sorry, my bad. So after week 2, they'll go to 76. After week 4, they'll go to 77. And after week 6, they'll go to 78. So by the end of season 1, you'll be 78. Based on that, by the end of the first 5 seasons, they will be a 90 overall pitcher. And by the time they've been in 10 seasons, they will be a 95 overall pitcher. Dave's schedule shows during the LSU baseball game. I didn't even know they're playing. Listen, to be honest with you, the LSU should be scheduling their shit around me. That's all I'm saying. So pitchers are going to be different. They're going to have more creativity. They are only going to be allowed 3 pitches in season 1. They can add a second one in season 2, or a fourth one in season 2, and exactly, Chris Lee. And then they can add a 5th one after season 3. But they will be doing it separately. And they did not, all their hitting will be zeros, and then their fielding will start out here. So fielding will be 50, arm strength, arm accuracy. That arm strength does not have to do with pitching. It only has to do with fielding. The reaction, the durability, and the speed. But they'll be able to add to that as we go. Dave, I think the bunt number is too high in Ricky Henderson. Felt like my player squared to bunt way too much. Maybe once a game, once every other game. I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out. The main thing on that is it's a leadoff. So however he needs to get on base, he's probably going to get on base. We'll keep an eye on that bullet though. And if it listen, I'm not against moving things around in season 1. If we see something where something's getting really fucked up, we'll change it. We'll fix it. Catchers now. Catchers are all going to start with what you see down there. They have one extra attribute on the far left. You see blocking. This is for blocking the plate. But their contact, all their offensive attributes are going to be a little lower to start. Because they have the extra one and because their defense is decent, they are already at a 73 with the numbers you see up there. Now, everybody's going to get some preseason points to add to their player, and they can use it for height weight. They can use it for switch hitting. They can use it to change your pull versus opposite field and whole field batting. And then you can also use it on your attributes. The total amount yet I'm still working on. It's probably going to be about 20, 25 points, I'm thinking, somewhere in there. And then each week we'll progress maybe about 5 to 6 points base, and then anything you earn during the week will be on top of that. So you could progress possibly like 10 points a week from what I'm seeing. The thing with the catchers is this is the starting, but I'm still working on if I'm going to have a balanced catcher or not, or if I'm just going to have an offensive catcher or defensive catcher, or if I'm just going to leave the base and let the catchers progress the way they want to. So I'll make that decision here probably tonight or tomorrow, and then I'll let the catchers know. But I didn't want to make a decision on that until I was 100% sure, and I wasn't 100% sure, so I wanted to be 100% sure. And if I say 100% sure lots of times in one sentence, you can imagine I'm 100% sure. All right. Jeff Banfield, thanks for the bits. Appreciate that. Zach Holdorf getting here just in time as we're almost wrapping up already. Questions from anybody about any of this stuff? I got Bullet's note. Jeff Banfield likes the McBonza archetype name. I do too. I think that was kind of cool. What else? Anybody else here got questions, comments, anything? Like I said, I'm gonna post these. Oh, I forgot to say did I say the power people already? Yeah, Freddie Leathers, Delaney Creek. Yeah, I did. Okay. All right. So again, 4 of the 5 archetypes that you see for position players were used in the beta season. So you can go and look at the stats that Keith posted. I think I pinned it in the dugout, so you can compare that if you'd like. Here's the thing too. You guys have to pick your. Oh, Mike. Oh, what's up? Dave is never sure. I'm always sure, bro. You guys have to pick your archetype before Monday. I'll probably give a deadline of Monday at noon, so everybody can see those, and we'll post them before the draft that night. The draft will probably be at 8:30. I might start a little earlier, maybe 8 o'clock. Is there a below Mendoza line archetype for me? Britton, dude, you and me, bro, I sucked, man. I was terrible offensively, but defensively I was solid except for that last game I finally had an error. So I went 8 games, then I had an error, although I got to say Freddie should have dug that shit out. I'm just saying. Jeff Banfield says early is better. Yeah, we might go 8 o'clock on Monday because I don't know how long the draft's going to last. And here's the thing about the draft. You ready for this? There's going to be 6 rounds. If we can get, I think we need 2 or 3 more players to get to 40, and then we can have 6 rounds. Anybody extra that comes after, then they'll get drafted when I get back from California. But I think I'm going to treat each round like its own draft. So it's not going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's not going to be a snake like 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to mix it up, but I'm also going to make sure that nobody gets fucked. So the first 4 rounds, I will make sure that everybody has a first round, a top pick, at least for the first 4 rounds, and then the last 2, it is what it is. So that way we'll mix it up and we'll try to make it as fair as possible. Bullet says I had 1 hit, just like my college career. Hey, that's 1 more hit than I had in my college career. Hey, yo. Mike the Machine. Oh, what are you doing, bro? Good to see you, man. First time chatter. I thought you chatted on here the other night. I guess not. All right. For those of you who joined late, let's go through these real quick. That's the pitchers and catchers right there. I just explained what we're going to do with them. McBonza, the McGuire, Barry Bonds, and Sammy Sosa attribute power hitter. Tony Gwynn, contact hitter, hitting for average. Ozzie, the Gold Glover. Ricky Henderson, the leadoff man. Let me see what the bunt's at while we're here. Starts at 75. Well, if you think it's too, well, I guess the good thing, Bullet, is if you think it's too high, then if you take that, I wouldn't add to it, maybe. Different account. Oh, my bad, Mike. That was my other Twitch channel. Hey yo. All right, and then the average Joe, which is just a Joe of all trades, where you're balanced and you do everything well, or pretty good to start with. Does Mike All bring chips in a spot each dugout? Yeah, whoever drafts Mike All, you better have a whole shitload. They don't do sunflower seeds; they do chips for sure. Look at Bullet chiseling his Hall of Fame plaque after one hit in the beta season. That's fucking great. All right, that's pretty much it, folks. I don't. Boom, 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 and boom. I don't have anything else. That's all I wanted to do, but I wanted to have it on video so people could go back. They can pause it. They can see stuff. Like I said, I will post the archetypes in here in the archetype builds and info channel. Make sure you guys also see in that channel, depending on what team you're on, when you go to choose your number, that there are a lot of retired numbers, especially for the Yankees and the Cardinals. So be leery of that. Be aware of that. All right, last chance for questions before I sign off. Michaela, that's the wrong mic there, crazy. You're thinking of Mike O'Neill. All right, I don't see anything else in here. I'm going through the chat. But I will see if anybody joined that I didn't do a shout out to. Let's see. I said Ray. I didn't see Churchill. Churchill, good to see you, buddy. I said Keith, Joe, Gunny, Gluta, Freddie, Doug, blah, 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 blah. All you guys are here. All right, good enough. What do you mean you started the chair thing? I thought that was a Mike O'Neill with the chair on my show thing. Are you talking about the all the rooms in your house thing? That's all right, Churchill. You can always go back and watch it on VOD. We're about to sign off here in a second. Corn King saying it was Mike O'Neill, but Mike All was the different room of the house thing, right? Yeah. So Gunny, yeah, we won't be on air. We won't have anything to do with Mob again until Sunday. So if you're an owner, start reaching out to people you think you might want to draft. I will say this. You get drafted, you play where you're going to play. You're on one-season contracts. You can suck it up for fucking 6 weeks and, 18 games or whatever we're playing. So I said it first about his chair. I don't know, bro. I can't remember. I got like a 1 gig hard drive in my head. I can't remember all that shit. I delete all the shit I don't care about anymore. Crazy Canuck says, I'm just going to throw this out there. I think the chair was the greatest analyst that Access Live ever had. I wouldn't be surprised. Mike was in a different room for each show. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dave's couch is the best analyst. Fuck your couch. All right. That's it. That's all I got. Thanks for tuning in. 2 quick shows in a row. Don't forget that we are moving stuff over to the YouTube channel. What do we call that? Exporting. Because after 14 days, all this stuff expires on Twitch. You won't see the beta season on there, but you'll see the beta season championship game. You'll see the show from 2 nights ago, and then you'll see tonight as I start moving stuff over there. So, hey, yo, Mike. All right. That's it. I'm done. Thanks for hanging out with me for 27 minutes. Man, these shows are getting shorter and shorter. That's what she said. Hey, yo. All right. Thanks for being here. I will see you Monday night. Goodbye. Have a great weekend. Jeff Banfield, love you too. Boom to you, Holdorf. Bye-bye, Bolbletsky. And most importantly, Freddie, good night now!